We've got the Cornerstone Nero on the bench today. This is a big, filthy fuzz with some very interesting modern features. You have controls for the volume gain and tone of the fuzz, plus two mini pots on here that adjust the fuzz bias, and you can foot switch between these two values on here. Basically, the lower the bias control is, the nastier and spittier the fuzz is going to be. The more you turn it up, you get more of a big, creamy, fat fuzz tone on there. There is this compression control on here, which is pretty unique to this pedal. This blends in Cornerstone's esteemed Gladio preamp. Their reasoning behind it is that a lot of the time, classic use cases for fuzz, when you want to crank the fuzz and then control it from your guitar volume and tone controls, you'd be running that fuzz into a cranked amp. But if you're playing into a clean amp and you've got a bunch of other pedals in your chain, that can create problems with classic fuzz circuits. So this has a high impedance input on it. You've even got the ability to externally switch between these two bias values on here, and then you can blend in that Gladio preamp with the compression control on here. Let's start with the volume up around 1 o'clock, the fuzz at 11 o'clock, the tone is at noon on here. I'm going to be using this side of the bias control to start out. I'm going to have the compression all the way down. We'll have a listen to what that bias control does on there. Then I will clean up my guitar with the volume control, and we'll have a listen to the effect that that comp circuit has on there. It's going to make this tone control in particular a lot more effective. I'm playing a PRS CE24 standard. I'm on the bridge pickup, but I've got it tapped. So essentially it is a bridge single coil. I'm going guitar, Nero, Soldano X88 IR on the clean channel. Now, the beauty of an old school fuzz circuit is often that it's so simple and there's so few controls that it's set and forget. And when you get that magic combination of guitar, fuzz, and amp, you can do everything on the guitar and with your playing articulation and dynamics. What I like about this is they've added extra features on there, but they don't interfere with that fundamental workflow, if you want to use that word when talking about guitar, fuzz, and amp on there. This compression control in conjunction with the volume control and your amp is basically going to have a really nice sweet spot on there. So for what I'm using at the moment, I found that volume control around 1 or 2 o'clock, and then the compression control also around 1 or 2 o'clock, just with my particular setup. That way I can crank the fuzz all the way up if I want to, or I can leave it around noon and get a lot out of the tone control on there, and then flip-flop between the 2 different bias settings on there. I like having one low and one all the way up because generally I like that big, fat, thick, kind of Gilmore style fuzz on there, but it is really nice having the more spitty, aggressive, almost gated fuzz on there you can get with the bias control really low on there. So with these settings, again, I'll just let you hear, I'll take the compression all the way down and we'll go to the big fat settings over here. Have a listen to how the overall dynamic range changes when I'm playing clean. And I think if you're running a fuzz into a clean amp, you do want dynamic range in there, but sometimes it can be way too much. Like you get to that sweet spot on the volume roll off and then it's in such a narrow band that it can be hard to find it during a performance. So again, I'm just going to go from 0 on the compression to about 1, 2 o'clock on there, something like that. So we go from this. Of course, if you're starting with an already crunchy or dirty amp, the compression control just gives you one more way to change up your core tone. Let's make something absolutely filthy happen on top of this. Modern guitar gear can be particularly prone to trying to invent the wheel. What I like with the Nero is that rather than try to reinvent the wheel, they've just added some nice little quality of life improvements on there that let you get more life out of your tires. Or, it's kind of like having a four-wheel drive mode on your favorite car. It's still the same old wheels and the same old tires on there, but having that Gladio preamp in there that you can blend in with the compression control can make this just behave a lot better with your existing rig. If you'd like to learn more about the Nero, I will put a link in the video description. You can also support my channel directly via my Patreon or the music that I make with my band Ragdoll. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this pedal in the comment section below. But until next time, go and make some glorious guitar noises, and I will see you then.